Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is R. Parthasarathi. People call me shortly Partha. I'm a senior partner in charge of intellectual property in the law firm of Lakshmi Kumaran and Sridharan. My background is physics plus also an accountant. So I do both tax and IP. I'd been in the government of India for 17 years, involved in the Uruguay round of negotiations in the Ministry of Commerce, and thereafter for about 18 years now with Mr. Lakshmi Kumaran and Sridharan, of which in the last 8 years I've been actively involved in IP litigation, mainly contentious issues. I do not have any prepared presentation. I'm going to share with you some random thoughts on economizing the value of intellectual property in the context of India. And I had drawn a lot of inspiration from my previous speakers. As I was thinking about this subject when I was sitting on the dais and maybe a couple of hours before, I was just thinking about the entire development of the universe and the patent system, and I found a very interesting drill down, if I may call it so. Now we have millions and millions of galaxies in this universe. The Milky Way is only one of those millions of galaxies. In this Milky Way galaxy, the solar system is simply a minute speck. In this solar system, the Earth is only one of the 9 planets. And on this Earth, when we think about civilization, maybe about 4,500 to 5,000 years of civilization. In this period of civilization, the story of science, maybe 300, 350, 400 years. In fact, the word scientist itself was probably coined somewhere around the 1833. And within this story of science, the story of patenting in a more legal form is maybe slightly more than 200 years old, even though we did have patents in Venice in 1450s and also probably under the United Kingdom, the king granted a patent monopoly, but a formal system of patenting, we have talked about 200 years. So in this drill down of the entire 200 years, but suddenly the spurt in patenting and the activities taking place in the universe of what we are living in is on the one hand. Then within this 200 years, I think about India. We did have the Patents and Designs Act of 1911, which means about 103 years of patent law in India. But till 1995, really no activity worth its name was happening within India. We did have a product patent, we did have a process patent, but India was neither an important market for outsiders, nor did Indians consider themselves that innovation should be patented. 95, with the TRIPS agreement and granting of product patents for pharmaceuticals and agrochemicals, I think a lot of interest started. Even then, again, between 95 and 2005, if you look at it, the 10-year period, because we have a transitional window, we did have some developments, mainly with reference to pharmaceuticals and agrochemicals. But really all action, I would say, started between 2005 to now 2014, maybe 9 years we are talking about. In this, again, the last 3 or 4 years, there has been a tremendous amount of increase in patent litigation. So India as a market for patenting and also for optimizing the value is all, we are talking about 8 to 10 years old. But we practitioners, we hear of the other side only. Nortel sold its patent for $4.8 billion. Each patent was approximately worth 30 lakh of rupees, big sum of money. We say a Polaroid versus Kodak settled for $926 million. Even the original claim was $12 billion, it was settled out of court for $926. Or we say Apple versus Nokia. Apple agreed to pay approximately $12 for each iPhone sold, and more than 100 million phones have been sold. Now, we talk about this very, very, very big numbers. But all these big numbers, again, constitute a very small portion of it. But when we come to down to earth, when you are talking about optimizing the value of the patent, I'm only forced to think of 3 or 4 major aspects which probably we need to look at. These 4.8 billion or 1 billion, etc., are a few cases. Maybe they are very path-breaking, and they are all related to the United States, where apart from patent litigation, invalidity, infringement, expert, etc., computation of damages itself has become a fine art where you have specialists. The moment you do the infringement and validity all upheld, for calculating damages, you have a separate set of specialists coming in, and there are also courts awarding huge damages. If you keep that in mind, when you look at India, the way I would say is, yes, the simplest, the easiest way is if you are working your patents and nobody is infringing, yes, you are realizing the maximum potential for your patent, do it. But in the ideal world, it never happens. So certainly the moment somebody finds you are making a lot of profit, they don't mind whether you are making it because you have a patent, you have done research, you have spent a lot of million. Yes, people try to see whether they can borrow that particular concept or manufacture a similar product. Then the most important way today, I would say, is somehow convince the court and get an interim injunction. And all of you who are practitioners know in India, the maximum amount of time is spent only on the interim injunction, because that more or less like decides the case. If you have an interim injunction, then you have protected your monopoly, then you can continue to realize the economic value of your product. Which is why when you talk about the cases, the TVS or Bajaj on the twin spark plug engine, the problem, the single judge in Madras High Court granted an injunction against TVS. They went in appeal to the division bench. Division bench reversed it after 1.5 years. After that, Bajaj came to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court upheld the order and then say you should do a fast track trial. That was in 2009. The trial is yet to begin. The point is, I am saying interim injunction, if you are able to get and get it sustained, in all probability, if the players are very strong, it will go up to the Supreme Court, in which case we are able to do the interim injunction, then again you are better off. But if you are not getting an interim injunction, then you go to the trial. Now, after the trial, when there are arguments on damages, we still today do not know to what extent Indian courts will award damages, even if you produce proof, evidence, etc., to show a huge amount of loss to you. How much will they give as damages is not known. We have not come across any patent case which has a concluded trial at the end of which arguments have taken place in damages and there is a decision and this is how the damage will be quantified. We do not have at this point of time. Till that decision comes, and some of the damages are very heavy, the interest to decide, okay, if I am infringing, let me be very careful that later on damages could be heavy, therefore I would rather not infringe. In order to instill that, I think we need to have some decision. Till then, I would say interim injunction at all costs with the maximum possible preparation is what would result in the optimization of your intellectual property. Then, of course, you also talk about collaboration. You talk about licensing out your patent in order to get money. Yes, everybody, the moment you talk about licensing, people say IBM has got more than $2 billion of revenue only from licensing. They say Texas Instruments has got more than $1 billion from licensing every year. So you have different examples of this coming. These are again are few and extreme examples. Now, if you are holding a very, very valid patent, you may not want to even license out to somebody. You would rather love to have the entire monopoly to yourself. So the ability and also the interest, inclination to license may not be there. But that's not the case when you are talking about standard patents. When you have standard patents, by law you will have to give it to on licensing on FRAND basis. But that exercise, if you look at what I have found, 5 years back I was involved in a negotiation on behalf of a standard patent holder with an Indian company. And I generally found all the meetings were more or less non-productive. People who can take decisions will never attend the meeting. All other people will come and then say we will go. 4.5 years, nothing has happened as far as the licensing was concerned. And after the suit was filed in the Delhi High Court, now we have an exam, okay, we will pay you this much amount of royalty because it is a standard essential patent. Therefore, even in situations where it is a standard patent, it has to be licensed on FRAND basis, the mental makeup here is still saying, can I still avoid paying that? Therefore, one thing is, the moment you go, if you understand it is a standard patent, you are infringing, you will be liable to called upon to pay something extra. Then the negotiations may probably take place in a reasonable basis and may get concluded. There are also cases which I am handling, the final trial is concluded, evidence is concluded, everything is concluded, now settlement talks are going on. But even in the type of settlement, sometimes the amount of money which the other side asks for is too heavy that people are not interested in doing it. And all this brings into effect a set of complex interplay of forces. It is not simple optimization of value for everything, for research, for applying, for prosecuting, for getting, and for having 20 years the patent alive, it involves a cost. When you go for litigation, it involves a cost. And what is the outcome of that particular thing, whether you'll be able to cover all your costs and still be there. I think there's a very complex set of forces when you are talking about optimization of IP value. Per contra, when I deal with Indian clients facing action in the United States, I know for certain that the patent is bad. In an inter-party review or in a review, I'll be able to get it invalidated. But the problem is the cost. The problem is cost. Two types of cost. One, my market. I have an example where my market was just $25 million in the United States. I know the patents which are asserted against me will be invalid. I got excellent prior arts. But the cost of doing, and after I win, my market is not going to increase tremendously because there is already some player. I am also one of the players. Therefore, when I do the cost balancing, I feel it's not worth fighting. Coupled with the fact that the person who sues me in the US has got a deep pocket and he can spend the money. To such an extent, in a negotiation, what they try to get out of me is something much more than what they can do. So it is a very complex set of factors, but what I wanted through this random thinking process was, one, enforcement in the Indian context, and as far as possible at the preliminary injunction stage, getting it gets you the maximum. And in respect of any standard patents, right at the beginning, assert the patent and try to get a royalty so that loss of time also erodes the value of the patent. With this, I stop here. Thank you very much for permitting me to share my thoughts. Thank you.